for you. There is still hope for you in spite of your struggles, heartaches, and troubles. No matter what you are going through, there is still hope for you. There is still hope for you in spite of your struggles, heartaches, and troubles. No matter what you are going through, there is still hope for you. There is still hope for you in sickness and sorrow. There's hope for tomorrow. God understands and he'll see you through. There is still hope for you. There is still hope for you in spite of your struggles, heartaches, and troubles. No matter what you are going through, there is still hope for you. There is still hope for you in seasons of sadness. Be strong, it won't last. God understands and he'll see you through.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Welcome to There Is Still Hope for You. I am your host, Pastor Karen, and I am so happy that you have taken the time to join me and my amazing guests on this evening for another segment of There Is Still Hope for You. I hope everyone is having a great day. Your week is going well. And this show originated from me giving God a complete yes after being delivered from rejection and allowing God to heal me from low self-esteem and feeling like I wasn't good enough and I wasn't capable of doing what God had called me to do and live a purpose-driven life. I promised God I was going to be a mouthpiece and let everyone know that there is hope for you. We are not defined by our past. We are not defined by decisions that we made that were not favorable for our lives. There is hope for you on today. And this is the broadcast where we share our stories and our testimonies. We follow the leading of the Holy Spirit to share, to encourage, and to empower others, to let them know that although sometimes you may be in a situation that you deem to be hopeless, that is not over, and there is hope for you. So thank you again to everyone who is watching via Facebook Live. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, thank you again for taking the time to share your evening with us and to be with us on this evening. I'd like to ask everyone if you would please share the broadcast. Because we don't do scripts and we follow the leading of the Holy Spirit, we know that there's always something that's going to be said that will bless someone's life. As we begin to talk and engage and allow God to use us, even on this platform, we are blessed as well as we begin to share. And all of my guests, their stories may be different from mine, but still they have the same desire to be transparent and to open up just to let others know that there is hope for you. So I have this amazing young lady with me on this evening that I just fell in love with from the first time I met her, because she is so inspiring. She's so real. She's so genuine. And she's a go-getter. You know, she has a lot of determination. And there's so many things I can say in the short period of time that I met her, but she's a beautiful, beautiful young lady, very inspiring. She's a radio show host. She has so much going on. She's an entrepreneur. Was studying entrepreneurship, but I'm claiming it for her and along with her. But Destiny Loewe, Destiny, thank you so much for accepting the invitation. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to be with me on this evening. So I'm going to turn the platform over to you so you can tell us something about yourself, whatever you want us to know, and share with us what you have to encourage us on this evening to let us know there is hope.
Okay. Well, my name is Destiny Lowe. I'm 22 years old. I was born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. My mom was born in West Baltimore, and my dad is from Ghana, so I am Ghanaian.
Okay.
So 22 years ago, they met each other. Well, 23 years ago, they met each other and had me. So I'm the oldest of three. I have a brother named Brandon. He is 18. And then I have a baby brother. His name is CJ, and he is 1. And he's like everybody's baby. Like, we love
Oh,
him so much.
wow.
I work full-time at the city of Baltimore. I'm a special assistant to chief of staff. And I also work full-time. I work full-time and I also go to school full-time. I go to the University of Baltimore, and I'll be finishing up my last 2 semesters this year. I study business administration with a specialization in entrepreneurship. So, like Pastor Curran say, I am interested in being an entrepreneur, and I'm just a lover of Christ. Like, I feel like I'm a simple Christian. I feel like there is no life without sacrifice. And if you don't sacrifice, you won't gain. And if I'm just love of the Lord, like, because He has saved my life. So I'm pretty simple. Hobbies, if I have any hobbies, I like doing kickball. I also signed up for soccer this fall. I try to stay active, but other than that, I'm pretty simple. Just school, work, church, and hanging out with my friends. I can't hear.
I know. I'm sorry. I put my phone on mute because I heard a little bit of feedback.
Okay.
But that's awesome. Thank you so much for that intro. That's just the beginning, y'all. That's just the beginning. I know she has some powerful things to share. I've seen her in the station. I've been a guest on her broadcast as well. So, but you said you work for the city of Baltimore, and did you say you were a director?
I'm a special assistant to chief of staff.
Okay, to the chief. Okay, that's what I heard. The chief. Okay, all right. So, wow, to be 22 and working in the city of Baltimore, working for the city. I mean, that's like a government job, and to be full-time student. You know, I've done that. I've gone to school full-time and I worked full-time, and then living the life, a Christian life. You know, I'm sure there can be a lot of challenges as your time. With your time, how do you do your time management? How do you work with that?
The Lord, because time management, I am still working on that, because I just don't know how I do some days, because it's just so crazy. Like, working and then going to school and then trying to have a life, it's just very hard. But one thing that I did sacrifice for a very long time, well, not sacrifice for a long time, but just sacrificing my first couple of years of college, I sacrificed having a relationship. I dated, but I never wanted to really settle down, because I knew that I had to stay focused, and sometimes relationships can be a distraction. Now that I'm getting older, I do desire of having a family and being married. But for a couple of years that I was in school, no, I wasn't doing none of that. I was not trying to have no type of boyfriend, husband, nothing. I was really trying to stay focused.
Wow. And that's good. I mean, that says a lot for you and your ability to be disciplined. And I keep looking away because I'm looking at these devices. I'm actually sharing this broadcast, and I'm going to tag you in it now, Destiny, so that it'll be on your page. Yeah, so that says a lot for you to be able to have that type of discipline to know
Mhm.
what to sacrifice and what not, and to
Right.
have those goals that you wanted to complete your education and focus on life prior to engaging in a relationship. So kudos to you. Kudos to you. That's great. Because I know that can be challenging because a lot of times when we have so much on our plate, we become lonely and we desire that companionship or someone to hang out with, or that relationship. So for you to make that sacrifice, I commend you on that. Wow. So
I
tell
I did desire a relationship, but I had to focus on school because
us.
school is hard. School is hard.
Yeah.
So
And that's good. That with alone within itself, I pray is giving someone hope because many of us aren't able to do that.
mhm.
We just we yield to the flesh. And when I say flesh, I'm not talking about anything out of the will of God, but still we want what we want as opposed to what's
Mhm.
best for us. And sometimes we do it at the wrong time and we fail. So I
Yep.
think that was wisdom. That was very wise for you to. You're so young and you're full of wisdom, and I know I told you that before. But to say, "Hey, I'm gonna put this off for a minute because I want to finish school." So and now you're almost done. So congratulations on your
Thank you.
upcoming graduation. You're very welcome. So Destiny, tell us a little bit about. You say you live a Christian life, and at the age of 22. I can
Mhm.
imagine that you face many challenges. We know that a lot of people,
Mhm.
a lot of young people in particular, they don't desire to have a relationship with God, or for whatever reasons they make a decision not to because they feel like it's a hard life, and many of them feel like it's impossible. They choose
Mhm.
their friends and the life outside of the will of God
Mhm.
instead of being in His will. Tell us a little bit about that and any challenges that you face.
Well, I always felt like God was with me through my whole life. I have a, how people be like, I have a praying grandma. Like my grandma don't play that. She gonna pray. Like
Uh-huh.
it don't matter. Like the water can stop. I'm praying. Like the light. Like I had like a joke with one of my coworkers earlier. Like because it's thunder and lightning, and you remember your grandmother saying like, "Oh, cut everything off," and I'm gonna take the Bible out. Like that was my grandmother. So I had a praying grandmother, and my mom is also a prayer as well. And my dad is very much a now he's very much a devoted Christian. So I just feel like I have been chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh so I grew up going to church. I wasn't like a church kid. Like I didn't have parents that were like pastors or like a PK or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely grew up going to church. So that was something that my grandmother installed in me. And then
Mm-hmm.
at a young age, I also went through some trauma because I was sexually abused
Mm-hmm.
for 6 years. So that really brought me closer to God because I would just always pray, like, I'm trying to get out of this. I'm trying to get out of this. So then when I turned 16, I went to a Catholic school,
Mm-hmm.
and that was Crystal Ray. And at Crystal Ray, they don't try to force any religion or anything on you. They just try to, when you study religion. And I
Yes.
always felt close to Christianity, not only because my grandmother grew me up like that. It's just like I just felt like when I talked about God and Jesus and everything, it just was like I was just like so close. So I became a peer minister, and we went on a Kairos retreat, and I was able to share my story with my group. And it was just amazing because it was like everybody was like so loving, and we was all sharing our stories. Like I wouldn't disclose every information, but people were talking about feeling unloved, losing a parent, not having a parent, and their parent was present in their life. Like they just felt like different things. Like even my mentor, our group leader, she was talking about having cancer and everything. And I just felt close to God. And that was the second time like I felt like a big, big presence. The first time was like but the first time was when we went on a peer ministry retreat, and I felt like a big, big presence. But when I was on those retreats, it was just me and God, and it was just like nobody was there. So it was like I was praying off that, and then during that time that we went on the conference retreat, I was going through my court case. So I was going to school. I always been a hard worker. So I was going to school. I was working part time, and I was also going through a court case. So I really needed like God, and I knew I needed God, but I wasn't yearning for him. Like I knew that he was with me, but when I was going on these retreats, I was like, I need you. Like, and it was crazy because now that I'm older, I'm realizing those prayers. I say it all the time. The prayers that I was praying then are really coming in like my life right now, like really exposing themselves. But I was praying, Sister Tara, when I was going through some stuff. And if I was praying, I was getting off the when I had to go catch the bus from Cordova. Best believe I was walking down the street. I'm praying like, God, listen, I don't know how we gonna do it, but I need you. Listen, just praying and praying and praying and praying and praying and praying. Like I was really praying, like getting on my knees every night. And I always say, like, God, love me, show me, help me. And I always say that now, like, love me, show me, guide me, love me, show me, help me. I always say that. I even say that now when I pray. But that was like the beginning of everything. And then I wanted to go to my cousin's graduation party. That was like my first, like we were going into like my first year of college. And my aunt, anybody know my aunt, if you want anything from her, you gotta go to church with her on Sunday. Even if you need $10, you want to have to go to church with her on Sunday. So do not call her and ask her for anything if you do not want to go to church with her on Sunday. So she was like, now if I take you, you got to go to church with me on Sunday. So I'm like, all right, I already know what you're coming with, Uneasy. Like, I know that I have to go to church. I understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And like when we went to the church, it was like, I just felt like, oh my goodness, like I need to go back to church. Like God is with me. Like he's speaking to me. I'm crying. Like I'm starting to feel like my life belonged to him. What is going on? So during that first year of me going to church, I didn't do nothing. I didn't go out with my friends. I wasn't being fornicating. I was
Mm-hmm.
very like to God. Like I was serious. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we ain't doing nothing. Okay.
You
So
made a true commitment.
I said we are going this seem right. This is what we're going with. I like it. I like it. Okay. Because it was
Mm-hmm.
like I felt like a love that I've been yearning for so long. Like a love from
Mm-hmm.
God is different from what you would receive from a parent or a lover or
That's right.
anybody. Like it was just like a love that I couldn't explain. And I was just like on this high. And everybody know when you first accept God and you get older, it's like a different type, like you be chasing that same love. Like
Mm-hmm.
you just keep chasing it and chasing it and chasing it, and that's what keeps you going. But it was like a love, and I was just like so determined. And I was just like, God, I need you. Like you've been here the whole time, but I want you to know that I'm with you. So
Mm-hmm.
that was how I got started with everything. And when I
Wow.
started to realize like God is for me and I'm for him and we're not gonna break up, like we're together like forever. Like this is a long-term relationship.
Wow. Wow. A lifetime relationship, permanent, like forever,
Yes,
forever.
forever.
Wow. Well, thank
Forever.
you so much for sharing, Destiny. That's powerful to see that, at a very young age, how you desired to get to know God and to have a relationship with him. And he does. He hears our prayers and he's with us even when even like myself. God took me back and he reminded me, well, you've always communicated with me. I've always been there, and as we draw nigh to him, he draws nigh to us. So a lot of times he's waiting on us. It's not that he's not there. We make a decision not to be close to him and not to have that relationship with him. And that's a beautiful testimony, a very beautiful testimony, because even when we are out of the will of God, to have that desire, as you said, you knew there was more and you just wanted that relationship with God. That's awesome. And God is love. God is love. It is a love that I can't explain, as you can't explain. It's the love of God is just something awesome. And along with that love of God, once we commit to him, the peace that comes with it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It is nothing like the peace of God. Nothing like the peace of God. There's so many benefits to being in the will of God and having a relationship with him. And I know a lot of times people look for benefits as in, oh, I'm gonna have money and I'm gonna have this and I'm gonna have material things. When I tell you the peace of God and the fact that he's got me, that I don't have to worry about anything. I don't have to want for anything. How God, He's a provider. Y'all, please excuse these lights. I've been like working all day and I came in the studio. So if y'all see the little glare in my, please forgive me. I usually try to position them so I can't see them, but I'm looking at them. It's like these lights in my glasses. So y'all, please bear with me on this evening. But it's like the love and peace of God surpasses all understanding. And what I love about it is not age specific. It's not gender specific. You know, all we have to do is desire Him as He desires us. And He's right there. He's right there.
Yes.
You talked a little bit about some trauma that you experienced, as many of us have. And if you're comfortable talking about it, I know you said you had a mentor, but if you don't have to go into the specifics of the trauma, but if you would share with us a bit of what steps you took to put yourself in position to allow God to heal you so that you can walk in freedom from the trauma of your past.
Well, like I said, it was happening from the ages of 10 to 16. So when during that time, when I came 16, you know, you start to have a boyfriend or something, so you know like what's supposed to be happening and what's not supposed to be happening. And I was like, you know, I have a boyfriend, like we be kissing, we don't be doing none of that crazy stuff, like, you know, grown folks stuff. But I know that I have a love for a boy, like to do that, not nobody else to be doing that. And I was just like, you know, I just got fed up and I was just like, this is it. And I was like, I told my family, and I was just like, I'm done. Like, I'm not about to keep going through this. So that was very hard because it shifted a lot of things in my family. So that was like a very trying time, and I really need to go. So I would just pray every day because I was, at the time, my mom started going through a depression. Because, you know, your parents, they just don't want anything to happen to their babies. So
that's right.
She was just very just like depressed like for a very long time. Like she's just starting to get out of it. Like before, like a year before she had the baby, that's like when she started getting out of it. So I had to go through like a very big shift because at that time, like when I became 17, my mom lost her job. So it was kind of like really being a grown up and like really like taking on so much, like helping my brother buy my brother's school clothes, like really, you know, pitching in, like really doing, like even when I became 18, getting on my own insurance, taking care of myself, getting braces, you know, stuff like that. But during that time, I realized God had me the whole way. He never let me go. He never let me fail. I fell on my butt a couple times, but every time I fell on my butt, I learned my lesson. Like I learned something, and it just made me stronger. And then it was getting to the point that I was feeling like Mayweather or something. Like, what can't I take? Like, I am too, like, you're making me strong. Like, what can I do? Like, what can I get through? So I don't be cocky or nothing, because you can go through some stuff and it really do knock you down. But it was to the point that I was just like, God, I'm just going through so much, but you always got me. So it's like, no matter what you put me through, I'm going to get through it. So that was during that time, and I was like really struggling. But most of the time, I just prayed and I was going to church and stuff during the time, because the case went kind of quick. I think it was over. It started like I had to be my junior year. So the case was over like my senior year. So that was done. So it went, the case went quick, and every person involved was found guilty. So that was done. That was like the chapter closed in my life. So I was able to, you know, develop my life as a woman. But I didn't really start healing into last year in the pandemic. Because when we was trying to do therapy and they asked me did I want to do it, like my lawyer and everything, I kept on saying, no, I'm good, you know. But I was starting to realize that I had deeper issues, and it plays a part in a lot of my life. Like I used to care about stuff when I was younger, but as I got older, even with being bullied and having fake friends and stuff, that will scope you into really not caring about nothing. And I always had like I don't care about nothing attitude. Like, and it's hard. Like I care about certain things, but anybody that knows me knows that you really had to get underneath my skin for me to like react or do something. You had to keep poking the bear. So I always had a not care about attitude, but it wasn't like not caring about stuff that doesn't affect you. It was like starting to be like a not care about nothing. Like
Mm.
nothing that's going on, like just being depressed and thinking. And I was just like, I got to get some help. So I started going to therapy. I
Mm-hmm.
started praying, and one of the things that I did do was I left a lot of things alone. Like I left my job, I left my church. I just left things that I felt like wasn't developing me mentally and helping me spiritually. I just left it alone.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how I healed, prayed and stuff. Now that I'm getting older, I like to, I'm starting to go into the gym. I ordered a whole bunch of books. I want to meditate and do yoga and stuff like that, and write down my thoughts. I write down my thoughts and stuff, and just pray on it. Those are things that I'm interested in doing now and that I'm still doing. But at the time, I was just rolling with the punches. Now my
Mm-hmm.
mentor, it wasn't like a mentor. It was not like a mentor. She was more like a group leader at the
Okay.
Kairos retreat. So
Okay.
it wasn't like anybody holding my hand or nothing. Now I did have a very good teacher that she was a leader of the peer ministry, like the peer ministry as a whole, and her name was Christine Gallagher, and she was just very much a great person to just talk to, because we
Mm-hmm.
were like high school students, and we were going through a lot, and you definitely go through a lot your senior year going to college that people don't talk about, because mostly you go through a lot your any senior year, like senior year high school and senior year college, because it's like this is your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I always have a sink or swim attitude. Like you want to sink or swim. I always been like that. Like, and I'm gonna float. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
I don't drown, I'm a float. I might not swim immediately, but I'm a float. So I
Uh-huh.
always had that type of attitude. So it was just like, you got to sink or swim. And I was going through a lot, and I really needed somebody to talk to. So I just thank God because I had good friends at the time that really like had my back. I was just working hard, like just
Mm-hmm.
trying to be the best that I could be.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. You are a strong young woman, and it sounds as
Thank you.
though you're welcome. It sounds as though you've always had a positive perspective, and you're a young lady of wisdom. Many times we don't think, we get so caught up into what has happened to us or what we're going through. We've all been through something. Like I said, and my story may be different from yours, but even abuse and rejection and
Mhm.
things like that,
Mhm.
as you say, we have a decision, we can sink or swim, what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So it's
Right.
up
Or
to
you
us.
can
And
float.
yes, or float. Right, right, right. But we tend to get lost in what has happened to us. The
Mhm.
why me's. I was talking
Mhm.
about it on my broadcast. I have a broadcast on Tuesday as well, and we were talking about it last night, how many times, we get so stuck in
Mhm.
why me, until it paralyzes us from moving forward and from growing and developing. So,
Mhm.
I'm encouraged and inspired just by listening at you and your
Thank you.
perspective on life, your determination. You're a strong-willed young lady, and I know that those that are in your circle, they are blessed by your presence, and
Thank
it's a
you.
blessing. God, you are welcome. I know that God has a lot in store for you, and you're gonna be a blessing and an asset to the kingdom. Not saying that you aren't now, but I know there's so much more I can just see, and you have such a glow,
Thank
such a
you.
beautiful glow. You are welcome. So after sharing what you just shared about life and your perspective and how you always trusted God, you always prayed, you knew there was more, you were just determined that you weren't
Mhm.
going to allow things to get the best of you. I think it's so smart of you to make the decision, hey, you know what, I need help. Because there are
Mhm.
many people in life that are middle age, old
Mhm.
age,
Mhm.
who can't come to that realization that this is not normal. I need help. Let me reach
Right.
out and get some professional help. But let's focus on the young people, and particularly young ladies, since you're a young lady. And what would you say to a young lady that may be watching either now or the replay? And as I'm saying that, I want to thank all of you that are watching via replay for taking the time to watch this broadcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you again to everyone who is sharing. But to someone that may be listening, Destiny, and maybe they've been through a lot. They're, haven't really started living their life, but let's say even your age, early 20s, and they're struggling with identity. They're struggling with things that have happened in their past. They're struggling with even knowing what direction to go in life, because, that's a very young late age. At that age, many times we're just discovering not only who we are, but what we even want to do in life.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to encourage them, or to give them some type of strategy or principles to apply as to how to get their life focused so they can live a purpose-driven life?
Well, first I would want to say I'm not perfect. Do not feel like I'm perfect. Like I say, I go through story. Looks can be deceiving. Sometimes, if you're a beautiful woman, people will think that you have never been through anything. So do
Mm-hmm.
not be feeling like I'm perfect. All these things that I have or I'm developing have came from God. That's it. So do
Mm-hmm.
not feel like I'm perfect or anything that's like that, because I'm not. But what I was tell you to be inspired is, first, find a relationship with yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to find what matters to you and what don't matter to you, and also get rid of things that don't help you at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes we can be our best advocate, but then we can be our worst advocate as well. And anything that's not benefiting you is harming you. And also find a relationship with God. I feel like with God, anything is possible. And if you're a Muslim, Buddhist, whatever you feel that gets you closer to God, let that be your light and let Him guide you. Because at the end of the day, we all need Him. And I'm not against any religion or whatever. I feel like we all supposed to be together. So what I'm saying is, find God, find light, find yourself, and just to take some steps. Like I said, get to know yourself, get to know what you like. Also, you need to also you during a time when you're learning God and you're learning yourself, you have to separate yourself from a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to separate yourself from your family. You have to separate, if you in a, like, say for women that's in an abusive relationship. I have been around people that have been in an abusive relationship. Separate yourself from that man, okay? Or even sometimes abuse is not just physical, it can be mentally. I've been there with guys, they see what they see. They be like, oh, you're so beautiful, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. But then when they get you, they don't know how to handle you. And then a lot of these men that you are dating, because I feel like we're in if you're younger, that, men are who we are focused on sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these men will get you, and they will not treat you how you need to be treated, or they will see how you treat yourself, and you don't have any standards or anything, or some things that you will not take, and then they will continue to play with you. And now
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I felt like I have always been in a relationship. If I'm dating somebody, anybody know me, I'm that friend that be like, girl, leave, okay, you can go. And listen, these are my first qualifications. I look at myself, I say, you ain't got no kids, Bob, you're not
Mm-hmm.
married, you ain't on the same phone plan, he ain't on your credit. So you know what? You can let him go. Now, when
Mm-hmm.
you be on that same T-Mobile bill, or they gotta call your name, or y'all share a lease, then you might got something that you need to pray on. But if you
Mm-hmm.
ain't got no attachments, no baby, y'all don't have the last name, none of that, then you need to go. You need to pack your bags and go. And sometimes it's hard, and you
Oh
probably
yeah, a
don't want to go
lot
back
of
to your
times.
mama, or you probably
Mm-hmm.
don't want to go back to your grandmama house or whatever. But what I'm telling you is, God will create a peace so within that none of that won't bother you. So, ladies, put yourself first, because at the end of the day, confidence is what attracts people. And
Yes.
I go through it. I'm a natural healer, a natural positive person, a natural energy, like just a light. Anybody that has been around me, and I have noticed that about myself, like I can be going through stuff, like they be like, lights gonna get a cut off, and the light get cut off, and I'm laughing. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my goodness, Lord, the light done got cut off. Like, I'm just
Uh-huh.
like, well, at the end of the day, if it do get cut off, what we gonna do, dog? You need to give me something to do, because I need to be entertained. But
Uh-huh.
what I'm saying is, you know, you have to find joy in all things, even when you're going through things, because you are molding yourself to be a better person. Like,
That's
no
right.
matter what you're going through, and we all go through everything. We all go
That's
through a
right.
lot of things. But
That's right.
whatever you're going through, you can get through it. It's
Hmm.
nothing. Like, that's why it's like we say, it's still hope for you. No matter what you're going through, no matter if you young or old. Because something that I realized when I got older, you know how people be like, stay out of grown folks' business. You know, you used to have to sit at the kiddie table.
Hmm.
When I started getting older and I started getting closer to my mom and my aunt, to my grandmother, and like women that I work with, I realized we're all going through something.
Oh
We're
yeah.
not even men. It's men out here. They are going like even develop.
You breaking up a bit. Can you hear me? I think you are you muted? I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Hold up.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? I'm so
Yes,
sorry, guys.
that's
All
okay.
my friends calling me. They want to know what we're doing tomorrow for dinner. I'm sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry,
that's okay.
everybody.
That's all right.
Everybody's calling me. I'm going to tell them to leave me alone. I told them that I was doing something today. See, they want to call
Oh,
me when I'm doing something, but they don't
but
want to
you're
never
well
call me when I
loved.
really
You're
need to
well
talk.
loved. So that's good. You're well loved.
But yeah, like anything that you're going through, you can get through. And I'm a person, sometimes it's hard for me to take my advice. But one thing that I did learn recently, because I did date somebody recently, and it has taught me a lot about myself. Sometimes when you are, say for instance, you all over the place, I feel like sometimes my life is just up and down. It's just like a lot going on. And if you do have a lot going on, sometimes you will attract people like that
Yes,
that have a lot
exactly.
going on. Like if you're doing a lot of stuff, you also would attract something. But what I realized during that journey, I have to be loved, and I can't be loved like this. Like, it's just certain things you shouldn't yearn for love that you don't want to receive, or you shouldn't yearn for love that. And it doesn't matter even if it's from a male. It can be from your family. It's been times that I had to let my family. This is the boundary.
Mm-hmm.
Do not cross it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're at peace and you're working on yourself, when somebody cross that boundary, you're like, you don't know I'm from the east side. I told you. I'm going to go off. Listen.
She
And
said
you
I'm from
better
the east
know.
side.
Listen, I tell people all the time, I used to throw hands, now I lay them, okay? So what I'm
All right.
telling you is, please do not cross this boundary, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to work on myself. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be your crazy family, because it been times I be like, what's wrong with y'all? Do y'all need a hug?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are, like, God will have you get a piece. And I'm known for packing my little book bag and going to my cousin's house or going to my homegirl's house. I got to go into it.
Uh-huh.
I get myself together. But you gotta have hope. Like, you have to. And I feel I always been a type of person. You get one life, so you have to live it to the fullest. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you do not, you are going to regret, and you do not want to be one of those people that have regrets.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you're going to be bitter about things that you couldn't do, and why you didn't do it, and why you wasted your time. And because people that
Yes.
don't live their life with regret and did the things that they said they wanted to do, they don't live, they haven't. Now granted, it's going to be some things that you're harder on yourself about, or some things that you like, dang, I should have changed that or whatever, but you
Right.
learn from that. But if you go for a throttle and you go for whatever you want, and you go after what you want, you're going to have hope. And a lot of you young ladies are beautiful, outside and
Yes.
inside, and gorgeous, and you're smart, and you got your own house, and you know how to cook like your grandmama, and you know how to dress, and you look right, and you better not waste that youth on anybody, honey. So you need to be encouraged, because you can waste your youth on somebody. You're not like one of these men, and some of y'all like the little girls, these women, whoever you are, because I do not judge. Do not let them take up your good years, because you're gonna be miserable, and you're gonna start old, because you not sitting there and dated somebody, and they don't mistreated you, and you could have been at the gym, or you could have been taking yourself out for a nice, dinner, or going to go get a massage, or just doing some self-care, or loving you on yourself, buying a plant, painting, the things that you like to do, listening to music, driving around, going swimming. It's so much stuff that you could do, and you just need to be encouraged. You need to, anything that's holding you back, get them off you. Get them off you. Drop them. Drop them.
Yes.
Get them off you, because people will tug at you. It doesn't matter if it's your family. It does not matter if it's somebody that you're dating. Co-workers will try to bring you down. It does
Yes.
not matter. Anybody, because the devil will try to use anything. I know when I lost my car, and I like I tell people all the time, I have a fear. I don't have a fear of driving. I have a fear of driving in a car that don't love me. And when I got my first car did not love me, honey. And he was using that car because I thought Sasha was gonna have my back. And let me tell you, Sasha ain't have nobody back for her own, because
You say Sasha?
Yes, she kept taking money out my pocket. Okay, she was for herself. Okay, so when Sasha had to go, she had to get let go, because I was not playing those games. And I have been catching Ubers ever since. And now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I do need a car and I need transportation. But now that I know what I am capable of, her name ain't gonna be Sasha. She gonna have to be named like Loretta, somebody that pay bills on time, and somebody that's gonna get you from A to B. Because that is just not it. So what I'm telling you is, you need to get off that, because the devil will use anything to distract you. It can be anything that you're passionate about. You might be a passion actor, and everybody keep telling you no. Or you might can be a passionate business person, and all your business plans are just going out the way. And sometimes you need to get rid of those distractions, because you can sometimes put yourself, be so selfless and put so much time in your family or your relationship or anything. You can even sometimes put too much at your job, and you forget on your dreams, and you forget what God has called you to be. So what I'm telling you is, you need to have hope, and you need to keep going, because we all struggle. I struggle every day. I am a person that can encourage you, but let me tell you, I be in the car crying, or there been times I've been in the Uber wiping tears or in the shower, and then sometimes you be so busy you ain't got no time to cry. You be like, if I start crying, that's gonna take 15 minutes off this. So let me just keep going.
I know that's right, girl.
I ain't got the time right now.
Wow.
I might can cry later, or cry in a dream or something, but I need to handle this right now. So crying is just going to get me like, and yes, we all get emotional. It's times that I be crying, but I just be like, maybe I can wait to save it to Sunday for church or something. Maybe that's why I'm always crying, because I never have time to cry during the week. But just be encouraged. Like, don't give up on yourself. Like,
that's right.
That's the worst thing you can do. You need to be your own best friend and your own lover, because many people can mistreat you, and maybe in your life a lot of people have mistreated you, because like I said, I have been mistreated since I was younger, and people have taken advantage of me, and then going through that has led me into sometimes dating people that was not the best for me. So that's why I decided to say a full yes and just say, God, I'm going to be for people that are for me, because those who are not for me, they don't have anything. And any boyfriend that have ever cheated on me, or any man that have ever did wrong to me, yeah, they have to fight with the Lord, because I ain't fighting with you, and I ain't about to go to court or with you or whatever, anything, because sometimes people would think karma is them something happening bad to the other person, but sometimes karma is God blessing you in front of those people,
that
he will make those people your footstool.
Right.
Okay, so he will bless you in front of everybody, because you'll be sitting up there going through so much, and then you be thinking, oh my goodness, something is bad going to happen to them. No, something is good going to happen to you.
That's right.
Because you've been, faithful, and you've been good. That's what's going to happen. So love yourself, put yourself first. You can't love anybody unless you put yourself first, and love God. Put him first, because he will show you how to treat yourself and love yourself a little more. And sometimes things ain't as bad as we make it. Sometimes we be going through so much. Say your boyfriend cheat on you, right? And I done had some cheating boyfriends, so that's why maybe I'm using that as an example. Or your boyfriend go toe to toe with you. Maybe you are a Tina Turner. Your boyfriend knock you out sometime. But at that movie in that white suit, Tina had enough. And you
Mm-hmm.
know what she did? She snatched that sideburn right off Mike. I mean, Ike. So, like I said, somebody gonna have to pay for what Ike did to Tina. Okay? So what I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you is you love yourself and everything into fruition, because once Tina let Ike go, and Ike was a cheater, he was a beater, he was just a manipulator. And when she let Tina and started loving Tina and finding herself, she was a beautiful woman.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
love my Sagittarius because Tina Turner is a Sagittarius, and I'm a Sagittarius as well.
Uh-huh.
And we be going through some stuff, but we are strong people, and we do not play that. So
Mm-hmm.
do not let anybody play with you. Be encouraged, love on yourself. And also, if you're a man, love on yourself as well. Because some of these women don't deserve you, and you could be a good man,
That's
a
right.
good
It
son, a
goes
good
both
father
ways.
to a
Yep.
good woman. To a good woman that's going to love you the right way, that's going to care about your mental health. And that's another thing with men, because I have brothers, so I'm a protector. I'm one of them sisters. I ain't gonna fight you, but you mess with them too, I might have to ask for forgiveness later, because I'm a girl,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to show you how we get down, okay? About my brothers. I don't play about them. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is you can be a good man, and a lot of women will mistreat you, make you feel like you're only good for money or you're only good for certain things. And you want to be loved as well. So even if you're a man, take that time out to love yourself and heal. And if you have some traumas, heal, go see a therapist, because you will
Yes,
not be no
heal.
good to a woman. You will not be good to no good woman if you don't heal yourself first. A lot of these men think they need a girlfriend and they need a therapist. A lot of these
Mm-hmm.
men think they need a wife and they need a therapist. A lot of
They
these
need to
men
be
think
healed.
they need, yeah, yes, they be healed. And a lot of these men think that they need a second mother, and that is not you, Susie. And you are not Miss Margaret. You are not her. You are you, and you have came to be a wife and a girlfriend, and that's what you desire to be. You ain't here to be nobody's second mama. He need to go see a therapist, okay? And if
Honey,
he
how
want to be
old you
acting like
say
his
you
daddy,
are?
you let him go.
How old you say you are?
I'm 22.
Honey, woo!
I'm 22.
Where were you when I was 22? Wow. Destiny, girl. I know somebody's life is being changed. You are empowering some woman, some man,
Thank you.
just people in general. You are welcome, because I tell you, you are so wise. And just hearing you talk at the age of 22, a lot of what you talked about is much of what I've been through. Much of my struggles in my life came from loneliness and wanting to be loved, wanting to be
Mm-hmm.
accepted, and as a result, I ended up settling. I'm just going to say it like that. I ended up settling because I always felt like I was a good woman. And, I was one of those to say, well, after I do this and they see how much I can do, then they'll change. One thing I've learned in life,
Mm-hmm.
talk so much about loving yourself. And it's so important to love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
because when we don't, we settle for the first person that treats us nice, for the
Mm-hmm.
first person that takes us out to eat or
Mm-hmm.
spends time with us. A lot of times we fall and
Mm-hmm.
we fall hard, and that was my case many times. What I've
Mm-hmm.
learned is that if someone tells you they don't want a relationship and
Mm-hmm.
you're not healed, many times we'll say, okay, well, I can handle that, or I'll be okay.
Mm-mm.
And you really want a relationship, but that individual does not.
Mm-hmm.
That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that person is a
Yep.
bad person. That doesn't mean that
Mm-hmm.
anything is wrong with you. You just want different things. You're in different places in your
Mm-hmm.
life. And I found myself constantly connecting with people that really didn't want to make a commitment. Now, I always said, I'm not a fun
Mm-hmm.
girl. I don't even know how to have fun. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? If I like you, I like you. And that was
Right.
it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to play love, as they
Mm-hmm.
said.
Right.
I always ended up hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and then I went through this
Mm-hmm.
thing, why me? What's wrong with me? And why nobody like me? And why nobody
Mm-hmm.
want me? Karen needed to heal. Karen needed to take time out for Karen to
Yep.
realize, okay, what you are worth it. You are worth someone accepting you for all of you, not someone just liking you because you cook or because you grew up in the business and you can help them build their business and establish their
Mm-hmm.
business, or not because you have a good job or they like
Mhm.
your home. None of that. If
Right.
someone can't accept you for all of you,
Yes.
not just part of you, male, female, young, old, it is not worth it. If you know you've been
Right.
hurt over and over again and you struggle with loneliness, you struggle with settling because you just want to be loved and
Mhm.
you want somebody to treat you right and you want to be loved. And if you meet
Yep.
someone and or someone wants to spend time with you and they're not willing to give you what you want, you are worth saying, that's okay, I'm good.
Mhm.
And not being
Yep.
upset. It took me a long time to
Mhm.
get to that place where it's like, you know what? And it's okay. If you choose to make other
Yep.
decisions or you don't, I'm okay. I'm still good. But it took me really dealing with myself. And I had to say,
Mhm.
Karen, you can't blame other people for mistreating you. Why did you allow yourself to remain apart
Mhm.
when you knew you was crying, when you knew you was with somebody spending my great time with someone that didn't value
Mhm.
my time or value me, not just even as a woman, but as a person?
Yep.
You know, so I began to examine myself and say, Karen, why? Start looking
Mhm.
at yourself. What is it about you that attracts these type of people? What is it
Yep.
about you that allows you to settle? Especially if you, like you say, everyone's beautiful. I don't care. You know, I say
Mhm.
everyone's beautiful. Everyone has a purpose.
Yep.
And so now, after
Mhm.
I got to the place where I really examined myself, and I wasn't 22, Destiny, I was way past
Mhm.
22. So I'm just saying that to say that it's
Yes.
not that you have to do it. We should, but many of us don't.
Mhm.
So I wasn't as wise
Yep.
as Destiny at the age of 22. I knew better. Actually, at 22, I was married, but my marriage failed. But even in
Mhm.
that, sometimes we stay in longer than we should, and we cry. And, you know, we're
Mhm.
lonely and we're miserable and we're beating ourselves up.
Mhm.
If you are in or have been
Yes.
in relationships and you felt like you weren't loved, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The word of God says that. God created you in his image and he has a
Mhm.
purpose and a plan for your life. I don't care
Yes.
what choices you made. I don't care how many times you messed up. I don't care how many times you settled. Love yourself enough to take time for you. As Destiny said,
Mhm.
you're going to have to let some things go. I remember I was cutting people and things. I didn't even know what was happening. But I kept crying out
Mhm.
to God like you did. I kept saying, God, please change me. God, please change me.
Mhm.
You know, please help me to be better because I wanted that companionship. And so
Yep.
I was settling and so I said, God, please do something in my life. Please change me. Please change me. And finally, God began to deal with me and he began to show me, Karen, love yourself. And so I began to write down
Mhm.
things. I like you, I do journaling, things about myself that I didn't like. And I was honest with myself. I don't like this about me. I don't like this
Mhm.
about me. And more so my response to things and me just settling. And then I wrote down my positive
Yep.
attributes and skills. And it was like, you know what? If somebody else can walk away, I can do it. If someone else can let go, I can do it. I'm not
Yep.
a punching bag. I'm not
Mhm.
a dormant where somebody just can walk over me. And respect yourself enough to
Mhm.
demand respect. And for
Yep.
those that don't want to do it, okay, well, you just don't deserve me. And it's okay. Go find
Mhm.
somebody that's going to let you walk all over them. And Destiny, as you said,
Okay.
it is a process. It is a process. But in the process of doing that and setting goals to say, you know what, I'm getting ready to change this. Each little step
Mhm.
that you take, every day that you go without allowing someone to walk over you or you settling or you learning how to say no, even when you don't want to say no. There are times when you
Mhm.
don't want to say no, but you know, you're like, nah, it ain't worth it because
Yes.
afterwards I'm going to be crying. Afterwards, I'm not going to like myself.
Mhm.
Afterwards, I'm going to be mad at myself. And then I got to
Mhm.
start this cycle all over again. So when you get sick and tired of being
Yes.
sick and tired, then you make changes. And so those moments that you feel like you're by yourself, no one really cares. God always cares.
Mhm.
There's someone that always cares. Many times
Yes.
those that we want is not best for us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would like to say, just to
Mm-hmm.
shorten this up, to fast forward, once you get to the place that you really, as you start reaching your goals and accomplishing, loving yourself, celebrate yourself for every victory. Every day
Mm-hmm.
that you're able to walk away or let go or say no. Yes, I did it. I did it. If I did it
Mm-hmm.
one day, I could do it 2 days, especially after a breakup. You know, I used to go through this thing.
Yep.
Okay, it's been 2 days. Oh, yes. Okay, it's been 2 days. That means I can go 3 days. That means I can go a week. So,
Yep.
whatever it takes for
Mm-hmm.
you, to our audience or anybody that may be watching the replay, and it's not just relationships, just anything. As Destiny says, sometimes it can be your co-workers, it could be friends, it could be family members. Love yourself enough to set
Mm-hmm.
boundaries and set goals for yourself, and just know you are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we don't
Mm-hmm.
have to be connected to people that don't want to connect to us. And don't get mad at people because they make other
Mm-hmm.
choices, because we all have desires and goals for our own individual lives.
Yes.
Celebrate yourself, as Destiny said.
Mm-hmm.
Love yourself. Find something that makes you happy. Treat your own self to dinner.
Yes.
I go out and treat myself to a steak dinner or a crab
Yes.
cake dinner all the
Yeah.
time.
I love a good lunch. Okay. I love a
Yes,
good massage. I love everything. Like, I'm gonna be for Destiny. Okay. If nobody else is for me, I'm gonna be for her.
yes. And we attract different people when we take out time for
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. We attract different people when we love ourselves, you know, when we set boundaries, and it's a good feeling. It makes you feel so good when you know,
Mm-hmm.
hey, yes, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing what works for me. I'm
Yes.
doing what's important for me. And it makes all the difference in who we are, who we
Mm-hmm.
become, on our accomplishments in life. As Destiny said, don't let nobody you're not going to
Yes.
be no punching bag. Don't let nobody affect you mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Mental abuse is worse than physical abuse, and I
Mm-hmm.
know because I've been through both of them. So that
Okay.
mental abuse, it sticks with you. The
Mm-hmm.
words that somebody say to you, you know, the hurt and the pain, and you keep thinking about it over and over and over and over again. Be healed. Take time alone to heal of your past, of your traumas, of the rejection. I've been through it all, rejected over and over and over. Sometimes I was rejected by the same person 2 or 3 times because I kept going back,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because the struggle is real. But we
Mm-hmm.
have to make decisions. You know what? I'm not spending my life like that. I'm not wasting
Mm-hmm.
my time. We have to realize that we are important, we are somebody, and we are special. And
Yes.
from there, it's all up from there, right, Destiny?
Yes, yes, it's absolutely up from there. When you love yourself and you take on the time to really just like just just give yourself a hug, give some self-care, you feel so good. Like, people would think that you don't never go through anything. Most of the time people would not know that I go through half the things that I went through unless I
Mm-hmm.
tell them.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people have went through the same thing that you have went through. So do not judge a book by its cover. And also, what people need to also realize, don't try to be nobody else. Be
That's
yourself.
good. Mm-hmm.
Because some of the times you can try to be like somebody else, or you looking at somebody else play, or you feel like, oh, only if I was this pretty, or only if I was like this person. And you don't know what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
That's true.
I always, some people be like, I got haters, I got haters, I got haters, I got haters, my haters, man. I never been one of those people that felt like I had haters. If you hate me, you better come see me, okay, and tell me how you feel, because I'm not gonna be one of the people that be like, yeah, I love all my haters and all that, because that don't do nothing for me. Trying to
Mm-hmm.
make them, I rather people love me than hate me or envy me. Like, that stuff, I don't want nobody sitting up there speaking bad on my life and all that. I mean, even if you speak bad on somebody's life, something is going to happen good to them anyway. And it's
Mm-hmm.
obviously a reason that stuff keep happening good to them, because you keep speaking bad about them. But I never, even like when I was in middle school and people like, oh yeah, my haters and all, like, you in high school, I didn't care about none of that, because child, bye. And let me tell you
She
about
said,
not worrying
child,
about
bye.
something. Let me tell you about something. Let me tell you something. I got a story for you, young ladies, and so you can focus and always focus on yourself, even if you're a gentleman. I was my junior year in high school. I won prom princess. And
Oh,
this is how, and I was going against 16 girls. When I say 16, I
wow.
went against 16 girls. And let me tell you something. The girls thought that it was going to be cute, and that's how they was going to get the votes. Oh no, I was cool with everybody. I was cool with I was kind of popular, but I was cool with the people that was popular. I was cool with the nerds. I was cool with the Hispanics. I was cool with the people that spoke two languages. I was cool with the people that was always in the computer lab. And baby, I got them votes, okay? And when I tell
Okay.
you, people, we were supposed to be taking our pictures, and people was in the line like, oh my goodness, we about to get called for the prom princess, right? And I already knew I won because when I started adding up the votes, I was like, yeah, I got this in the bag, but I was like kind of nervous. So then when my advisor called my name, I ran up to that thing and got my stash. And when I tell you it was people in the line of us taking pictures like, oh, she thinks she all that because she got the stash. No, I'm all that because you think that I'm all that, but I also won this because I earned this. And you
Uh-huh.
guys thought that you was going to sit there and speak bad on my name and that you was going to get some votes. No, I was focused on myself. I was even cool with some of the people that was running. And I was telling them, if you vote for me, I'll vote for you. Listen, I was using my little skills, and I wasn't voting nobody else. I
Wow.
voted for myself. But let me tell you, I had good friends.
Mm-hmm.
I had a good number of friends, and I had to realize I was doing simple math. I was like, it's only about 8 of us. So if I can get 10 votes, y'all are done for. Okay. So once
Mm-hmm.
I got the 10 votes, I was just like, yeah, it's done. It's done. You guys are not coming back from this one. But why I won is because I was focused on myself. And every
Mm.
time I look at my stash, it is in my room. And every time I feel a little low or something, I look at that stash and I realize, listen, and it's not always about beating people. Sometimes it's good for you to play the background because, like, even my senior year, I didn't decide to run for prom queen because been there, had that. I don't need all that. But when I tell you, you should have seen the look on those people's faces. They were so dropped and they was just so, and those are the people, my haters, walking around with the same attitude. And I wasn't like that in high school. Come give me a hug. Hey girl, you know how you doing? I always been like that. And now, and if I
Mm-hmm.
don't like you, you better just stay far away. But it's kind of hard for me not to like anybody because I just never been that type of person. But I was focused on myself and I stayed true to myself. I didn't change anything about me, and I won. And that's what I'm
Wow.
saying. Stop
That's
trying to prey on
encouraging.
people. Stop trying to prey on people. And it's not always about you praying for people. It's you praying like a lion or a hyena on somebody else. And they're going to sit there and be flourished and blessed in front of you because you're trying to sit there so worried about their plate and so focused on them. Nobody knew what I was going through. I almost didn't make it to some of my proms, but I
Mm.
stayed focused. And me winning that was God telling me, like, yeah, how can you keep up now? Because I wasn't worrying about no haters, but I definitely had some haters that night because
Mm-hmm.
I was even trying to take a little picture with my stash on my prom date. Was like, we are
Wow.
not doing that. You better take it off. So I had to give it to the lady or whatever because it was my best friend. He voted for me, but he did. And like my friends were so happy. They was like so like joyful because they like you really did it on them. Like they really thought that they was going to win. They came in with their little best little thing, and I really walked. And then when I walked back, and it's crazy because I actually had on burgundy that night too, so that's just like the Holy Spirit.
Uh-huh.
But I walked back, and I was like, "Yep, I won that
Wow.
fair and square." And then you could even hear some of the seniors in the prom like, "Who is that? Don't worry about me, because I I know somebody that do know me. So that
Uh-huh.
doesn't matter. I focus on myself, and that's what I'm saying. Focus on yourself and figure out what you need to do. Because sometimes you can be thinking that you want to be like somebody else or you want somebody else's life, and it's not easy. It wasn't easy getting up all those votes or trying to talk to people that I probably haven't talked to for a while, but it was good to know that I had such a good, like, energy, or, I was genuine that people was just like, I'll vote for you. It doesn't matter. You got my vote. And I was even
Mm-hmm.
like buttering up on some people like, can you vote for me, please? And they was like, oh, no problem. I'll vote for you. So that is the story that you need to know. Like, focus on yourself. Don't
That's
focus on others.
good. That's
Because I
good.
definitely was focusing on me.
That's
And
good.
my friends were selfless. And that's why you have to be around people that love you as much as you love yourself. And they have to love
Mm-hmm.
themselves too. Because my friends could have even though my friends wasn't running and they wasn't bad, they didn't really care. Because most of my best friends didn't care about those type of things. My friends
Mm-hmm.
could have easily been like, no, why would I vote for you? They could have easily been like mad or jealous. But my friends was
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, we voting for you. You're gonna win this. And it was kind of like bringing back the championship home. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Princess, and they know, yup, and I'm gonna wear this sash all night. I'm taking pictures, and I was calling my family like, I won, and my family was like,
Wow.
we knew it. But I'm trying to say, focus on yourself, and God will always like. At that time, He knew that I really needed something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I just want fair and square. So I just say, just love on yourself because I definitely was loving on myself. And I
That's
had so
good.
much fun that prom. It was just so much fun.
That's good. That's good. And that's really good information because you're right. So many times we're distracted by what everyone else is doing with other attributes that we see in other
Mm-hmm.
people. Like you say, we want to be like them. Like you, I never desire to be like anyone else. My circle is a circle of people that are either have the same goals and we have the same drive and we push one another, or they are above me because I learned from those people. And
Mm-hmm.
I've never been one to say, oh, I want to be like her. Now I may see
Mm-hmm.
strong characteristics in individuals that I
Mm-hmm.
admire, and it inspires me to want to do better
Mm-hmm.
or to grow to a different level. And I think that should be a mindset that we all have. We don't want to be like anyone else. You're beautiful. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. God created each of us
Yes.
individually, and He has a plan for all of us. However, I can look at Destiny and see something in her that inspires me to be greater in a different area or to grow and develop
Mm-hmm.
in another area. But that's very good. Very good nuggets in what you just shared. Very good principles that we should all apply. Focus on you and your goals. And in this day and time, we don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to, if you have time to sit around
Yep.
and watch somebody else and analyze their life and try to be like them, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I would suggest that you
Mm-hmm.
re-examine yourself, reassess yourself and your goals, because we should all have
Mm-hmm.
goals that we're working towards. And as you
Mm-hmm.
said, we don't want to be distracted. I'm now to a place in my life. If it does not align with my purpose, I'm sorry, it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. I've had to
Yep.
cut some things and all, and I had to tell people, look, I'm not mad at you. It's nothing wrong. It's just that our lives are going in a different direction. It no longer serves
Yes.
a purpose in my life. And there were
Mm-hmm.
some people that weren't okay with it, but what could I do? I mean, that was a
Yep.
decision I had to make for myself, because we have to be determined that we're not going to let anyone hold us back. Because when you do,
Mm-hmm.
what you do is you become a victim twice. If that's someone that has held you back in the
Yep.
past and you hold on to it, even when they walk out of your life, forgive them. If someone has hurt you, forgive them. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
hold on to that unforgiveness for something someone has done to you, then it develops into bitterness and anger. And what you're doing, that person has moved on with their
Mm-hmm.
life, and you're still being held hostage by that individual, that situation, and they're not thinking
Mm-hmm.
about you. You're bound. You're being robbed of your
Yep.
destiny, and that's something I
Mm-hmm.
refuse to allow anyone or anything. No, you're not robbing me of my destiny. This is my life. I am
Okay.
responsible for me. I am
Mm-hmm.
responsible for my life. No one
Yep.
else can make
Mm-hmm.
those decisions. Now, we can make suggestions and encourage and inspire one another, but I have to make the suggestion. I mean, make the
Mm-hmm.
decision. I want what's best for me, as everyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yes.
really, really good. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for allowing
You're
the Holy
welcome.
Spirit to lead you and to direct you as to
Thank
what to
you.
share with us this evening. I want to give a couple of shout outs right here. We don't have a lot of comments tonight, and I keep checking to make sure that everything is connected properly, and it appears that it is. But again, I want to thank everyone who has taken the time to join us. I am Pastor Karen, your host, and you are tuned into There Is Still Hope for You, the broadcast where we share our testimonies and our stories to empower, to inspire, and to encourage others. I'm not able to see everyone that is tuned and who is tuning in, but if you've left a comment, I can see you. So I want to give a shout out to Shirley Miller. Thank you so much for tuning in and also for sharing the broadcast. I want to give a shout out to Latoya Liddell and to Joshua Carr. Thank you so much for taking the time to do Destiny Smile, and that's one of your followers.
Yes, that's one of my friends. That's my brother.
Okay. Hey, Joshua. Thank you so much for being here. And my guest this evening is Destiny Loewe, an amazing young woman who has shared much of her story, a lot of her testimonies, multiple testimonies. And it seems like the bulk of it, we ended up talking about relationships and settling and loving ourselves. And so that's where we are. If you were not here in the beginning of the segment, again, I'd like to thank everyone who is watching via YouTube. Know that I appreciate you. I am so grateful that you have taken out time to join us on this evening. Joshua gave you a heart and some hands up, Destiny. Yes, it's nice to have good friends, right? Yes. So Destiny, I'm going to let you continue to share whatever God lays on your heart. Also, if you don't mind, I would like for you, I want to give a shout out to Lucille Owens. Hey, I see she sent a couple of hearts. So thank you so much. To Jay McGraw, thank you so much for sharing. And if you're still tuned in, Jay McGraw is the founder and the CEO of Power 4.4 Radio. And this broadcast originally started there. I brought this one home, but I do broadcast on Tuesday night in the station. And the name of that broadcast is Let's Talk Life with Coach Karen and Jay McGraw. I'm a certified master life coach. I am the founder and CEO of Empowerment Reset and Transformation Academy. That's an academy where you are empowered to shift and evolve. I'm an activation coach. And I thank God for that gift and that assignment because there were things that he had to activate in me because I was stuck in so many areas, stuck and didn't want to move forward and full of fear and all the things that go along with being stuck. So if you connect with me, we're going to activate some stuff and you're going to begin to walk in purpose. So Destiny, as you continue to share, I would like to also ask you, if you will, if you would tell us a little bit about your radio segment, Blessed with Des, and tell us how that got started. You're at such a young age, so just share a little bit about that too. After you share whatever it is that God lays on your heart to continue to share with our audience on this evening.
Okay, so I would just start with how I got started with Blessed with Des. So I used to go to church with Sister Tony Terry, and I did a segment on a radio show. I believe that the segment was My Vote Matters. I feel like that was the segment. It had to be My Vote Matters, and I was basically explaining how it was my first time voting and everything, and it was like really good, and everybody was just like, "Oh my God, you did so great," and all that. So I'm just like, okay. So then she asked me that I want to be on there full time. I'm like, okay. So I didn't really know what I could name my segment. I just always like to rhyme things with my name, and I have a very unique name because my dad is African. So my name is Destiny Badu, like Erica, but that's my original name. Erica Badu kind of changed her name, and then my last name is Lowe, like my father. So I'm just like, blessed with that. That it just came my spirit. And I'm just like, that's what it will be, and it's just been going great. Now I will be taking a break, guys. If you are tuned in, I will be taking a break because I will be finishing up my capstone this year. But that is how everything got started, and it has been a blessing on my life to so many people, and that's why I'm like Josh, because he was a host. He was a co-host on one of the shows. Yeah.
Oh, really?
And it was great. And yes, on the youth show that I hosted.
Is that the one you did by yourself without Tony?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was a great great show. I had gotten a lot of good feedback from it. So the radio show has been a blessing. It has kept me connected to God because, like I said, I left my prior church, so I did have connections, but I just was not trying to sink in. And most of the time, like I do be like, oh God, like I'm very stretched out, like we talked about time before. But I'm like anything with God. Most of the time, if my spirit say yes, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have declined a lot of things before because I have declined being people's prayer partner. I had declined being on some people like ministry, being a part of some people service. I have declined a lot of things because my
Mm-hmm.
spirit has not, agreed with it. But if
Uh-huh.
it's something that my spirit aligns with it and God says, keep pushing, I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that started.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I saw that segment, Joshua. I didn't realize that was you. It seemed like I was busy the day of, but I think I came back and I know I came back and looked at the replay. That was really, really good. I was so proud of you, of all of you. But it was really a good segment.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for sharing. So, is there anything else that you feel led to share on this evening? Hey, Jay.
Well, the only thing that I can, hey, the only thing that I can say is like we all go through different certain areas of our life that we are struggling. Like right now, I'm struggling with being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
This is the worst hood I have ever been in. Adulthood is very much ghetto, and I grew up in the hood, and this is just too much. Your parents always say, the world to eat you up or something like that. No, y'all should have told us it was those bills. That's what it was. Y'all was sitting there trying to scare us with a whole bunch of other stuff like drugs and stuff. No, it's those bills that will get you down. It was not nothing. I am not scared of nothing else but the bills, honey. It's like your paycheck be gone. Like it's like you can put a little bit up for savings. It's like you want to go out with your friends, you want to lose weight, you want to go on vacation, you want to pay bills on time, but the money just be okay. But like I said, God always make a way. So
Yes,
that
he
is something
does.
that I'm personally struggling with, and I know that other people struggle with that. I'm in a chapter of my life that I'm like how Will Smith was in a house and it was empty and everybody moved out the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like I'm in the house empty by myself. I'm like, what is going on, Lord? Like you want me to do all these things? Am I capable? And I know that I am because with Christ I can do all things
That's
that
right.
strengthens me. But I'm just like so nervous and so anxious, and I just sometimes I'm in my bed and I'm just looking up in the wall because I'm just like, oh my goodness, it's just so much stuff to do. But I had to realize that those are things that God has wants me to do, and you also have to come out your comfort zone. Because for a
Mm-hmm.
very long time, I was comfortable. Like I would not speak. I actually grew up very shy. You ask my
Mm-hmm.
family, and I was that child like in the background, like no, I don't want to talk. Like, and I do have a time like I am very much a great observer. I get that from my mom. Like I can read a room. Like before you meet me, I can observe everything. You would just not I will not say anything. But when I do get comfortable and I know who to attract, I do talk and I do show my personality. But as a child, I was very shy, very much like meek, and I just did not want to talk about anything. But I always had a personality. Like I was so shy, but I would sign up for plays to do in school, and I would always get the lead role, and I just be like, oh my goodness, I'm so shy, how did I get the lead role? And I would come home and
Mm-hmm.
tell my mom, and she'd be like, that is crazy, but you're just so shy. And I'm just like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Like we even like I had the lead role in one play when I was younger, and I also had a lead role in the Nutcracker. And the
Mm-hmm.
Nutcracker, you have to be very silent. It's a quiet
Mm-hmm.
play, and like we had to do a little dance or whatever. And I was just like thinking in my head when I was younger, and now that I'm old, I'm like, that was perfect for me. Like I was shy. Like I didn't want to say anything anyway. So God just knew, like, I don't need to have no lines. Like all I had to do just dance a little bit, follow a
Just
little
be
step,
there,
and
right.
it was perfect. Yes, and now I have to try to install some of that fearlessness in me now as a woman because it's just like when you get older, things just go by so fast. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you have to get a car, you have to get a house, you just got a new job, like you have to. And then I'm at a point in my life right now that I am detaching from my family. It's not by force, it's by choice, because like I'm getting older, I have a degree, I'm not gonna be in my mom's house or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm gonna have my own car and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of scary, because it's like if you don't have an example or it's your first time having it, it's just like, am I gonna be able to balance all this? Like, this is like a different type of lifestyle, and then on top of that, you're trying to like maintain everything, trying to be your best at work, trying to be your best at school, because you want to make sure that you're always putting your best foot forward.
Right.
So that is my life right now, and I know that that can relate to somebody, because maybe you're starting a business, or maybe you are fresh in a marriage, or maybe you're scared to just do something, or you're fresh at a church, or you're fresh at a job, or you're fresh in a relationship. But that's really my struggle right now, just being able to balance everything and just also accept blessings from God, because sometimes you can be such a giver and you can also struggle for a very long time. Like, say for instance, you've been laying on the floor for a long time, and then God give you a bed, and you be like, "Oh my Lord, it's a bed. What am I supposed to do with this bed? Like, oh, you gave me a bed. Am I supposed to lay on it? Oh, oh my goodness, this bed is so nice. Like, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, I got a bed." Like, sometimes it's like that. You just so used to, having to rob Peter to pay Paul, or struggle, or just be like every man for themselves, that you forget that, you can have blessings too. Like, you can have the good life, you can have a better life, and you can be blessed. So
That's
that
good.
is one thing that I'm trying to accept, that God wants me to do these shifts. But it's like He always reminds me of why I need to do these things. Because, like, if, say for instance, like my family get on my nerves, it'd be like, "Boo boo, you gotta move, okay? You gotta get your place." Or if like I'm tired of Ubers, it's like, "Boo boo, you gotta go get your car. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
have a
Mm-hmm.
license, you better go get that car." So it's just certain things that He will show you, like, I'm doing these things to better you, not for it to harm you. So I have to accept
Mm-hmm.
those things as well.
Wow, wow. Yeah, and that sounds good. And it sounds like to me when you said like you're kind of separating yourself, you're becoming more independent as you should, and
Mhm.
we get to that place in life where we no longer want to rely on mom and dad. And I'm not knocking anyone that's in a position that they have
Mhm.
to, but at some point in our life, we have to
Mhm.
become more independent and begin to venture out, even if you're living in the home,
Mhm.
to pay your bills, as it
Mhm.
sounds as though you're doing and all. But Destiny, as you were talking, that's not just for young people. A lot of times we weren't taught how to manage money, how to budget, and we've
Mhm.
become accustomed to living in survival mode.
Yep.
And I knew for many years I had to do that with being a single mom and raising my kids. But one thing I've
Mhm.
learned of God that, and I say this, quote the scripture often, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, trust in the Lord with all of your heart, lean not to your own understanding. Many times we are
Mhm.
intelligent, we are super women, we're super men, and we just think we can do everything. And many times we can do a lot, but that's not what God created
Mhm.
us for. He told us we're supposed to cast our cares on Him. So many times we take a lot of
Mhm.
things on ourselves and we become weighed down, and it
Mhm.
becomes a struggle. Life is real, and life can be a struggle. And I think that in the
Mhm.
latter part of those two scriptures that I was going to quote, 3 and 6 says, acknowledge Him in all your ways and He will direct your path. And I found that
Mhm.
to be true in
Mhm.
particular since I've learned how to really do that. It's a process, and we have to be intentional about
Mhm.
trusting the Lord, because I can honestly say, and it's not just because of my age, because it could have happened a lot sooner had I applied
Mhm.
those principles and really I was operating in wisdom and applied those principles.
Mhm.
But when you trust in the Lord, as you say, He will make a way. He will show you when to get a car, when to get a house. It's not His will that we struggle and we live in poverty. God is a God of wealth. We
Mhm.
have we can have wealth through Christ Jesus, and Jesus came to give us life and that more abundantly. So when we live and we
Mhm.
struggle and we robbing Peter to pay Paul, and all of us have done it, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
So it's not just single to one specific person. Most of us are living that life or have experienced that, but that is not the will of God. So when we live by the principles, and I apply biblical principles to my life, and we see that our lifestyle and the things that we experience that don't line up with the word of God, then the question is, okay, what do I need to do? Am I really trusting God, or am I taking this in my own hand? And all, because God, he wants us to live and live a peaceful life and to have the things that we need. Now, we do struggle. As you said, we all been through things. I've been without a bed. I've slept on air mattresses. I've been without furniture. I've lost everything and had to start over. So I get it. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I find that the more that we really, really trust God and allow him to order our steps, the easier that becomes. I'm not saying he hands everything to you. We have to work for things. Faith without work is dead. But in the process of that, he gives peace of mind. Once he begins to, we allow him to be our provider, as we know he is, then we have faith. And as you said, even when the lights are out, you can still rejoice. I remember one time I had to preach and my lights was out. And the people, when I told a few people afterwards, they said, that's one of the best sermons you ever preached. And this was years ago. I was really young. But even in those situations, you have to continue to move forward. You have to still have joy, as you said earlier. And it's not easy. It's not easy, especially in today's, in society today. Look, I'm getting all tongue-tied now. But it is a struggle because things are so rough out here. It's really rough out here. But just keep God first. Do what you're supposed to do. Move slow. Sometimes we want everything like quick. We want to get a house and we want it completely furnished. And I've learned to just take a little bit at a time, budget. And I said, okay, I'm going to do this room first, or I'm going to do this next. As soon as I finish that, I'm going to do this and do one thing at a time. And I know I used to be like that, is I wanted to do everything all at once. And it's like, Karen, but why? You don't have confidence.
One day at a time.
Exactly. One day at a time. And I would stress myself out and I would overspend and all of that, but not anymore. And it's a process. It's a process and learning to just take it, as you said, one day at a time. Awesome, 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 Destiny.
Yes.
Wow. Great. What else do you have for us?
I don't know. Do you want to ask me any questions?
Look, I feel like I've been asking you so much. So you talked about, what are your plans for after you graduate? What do you plan to do after you get your degree?
Well, after I get my degree, I plan to move to another state.
You're leaving us?
I have plans. Yes, I have plans to move down south. So I'm very, very excited about that. I am like so excited about that. Like I just feel like my spirit is just called to down south. So that is one plan. My goals is to be a business analyst, but wherever God leads me, that's what I'm going to have to do, because I feel like he's going to put me in a position like how he has been putting me in position before. And if he want me to be a full-time entrepreneur, it'll be that. But if he want me to be a business analyst and work on my business step by step, then I'm good with that. I also have a plan to take a gap year. I don't know if it will be. I think it will be the year. I want to end my gap year when I turn 25.
Okay.
So it won't be this year coming up, because I'll be going into my 24th year. It might be my year the next year, one of those years, even if I'm going into 26 or 25, one of those years I'm going to take a gap year and I want to strictly focus on my business, focus on my mental health, and just focus on myself. So, and just focus on my spirituality. So that year, I want to take a gap year. I want to end it on my birthday, and I will be going back to work and being back into society if needed and working on my business. But I do want to take a gap year. So I'm currently trying to put a little $2, $20 to the side so that I am able to take that time off.
Wow, that's awesome. So, do you plan to move to South right after graduation, or is that something that you project in the future after graduation? I mean, well, when I say
Uh,
after, not directly after graduation.
well, it was supposed to be directly after graduation, but the way that the housing has been going in Maryland, it seems like I probably won't be moving into like the late December. And I don't want to break my, well, not late December, but like October, November. So I don't want to break my lease. I mean,
Hmm.
I could get someone to take over my lease because a lot of people do that. But mostly I don't want to break my lease, so I probably would have to move, maybe around the winter months.
Okay. That's awesome. You have a lot of goals in place. That's really awesome. And you spoke
Thank you.
about entrepreneurship. What is your desire as it relates to that? What type of business are you interested in?
I'm mostly into real estate and I love technology. So
Oh, okay.
I want to build houses. Anybody that knows me knows if I didn't go to school for business, I would either been a chemist or I would have been an architect. So I'm very interested in housing and remodeling housings and making people have a better life, knowing that it's more to life and
Look at my son, Marquis. Say
more
hi.
to
You know Destiny.
hey.
What up? What up?
This is the only show he's ever done that in.
No, because he loves me. I'm one of his biggest fans. I always post his freestyle, so
Oh, come back,
he knows
Marquis.
his 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 spirit was led to me.
Oh, maybe so, because I'm like, look at him, this all behind my desk. She said that she's one of your biggest fans. You gonna say something?
No,
Uh,
I talk to her all the time.
okay.
Thank you, Destiny,
Well,
for
get
all
on the
your
camera.
for all your support and all that. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome.
Because even when nobody
I
else not
always
in the
tell him
music,
he need to go back. I be like, he need to go back to just doing the music. Like, you can rap. I tell him that all the time.
yeah, she do. I ain't
I
gonna lie,
tell
she
him that
do.
all the time.
I appreciate you. I ain't mean
And
that.
I always post his freestyle. I be like, this time feeling the day, this time feeling
Yeah,
the day, this time feeling
Oh,
and it's
wow.
so old.
I ain't mean to break y'all little show up.
Oh, that's okay. Look, we live, so you came in here and interrupted us, so don't be showing half of your face.
How many people on here?
That's just on that one. I got 2 kids, and she got 1.
Oh,
So he coming looking at my numbers, talking about how many people on here. Boy, go look. So since you know how and y'all you push them like that, we're gonna have to include you in the family event we having coming up.
Yes, I need to be part of the family event. What y'all
Yeah, you look.
doing? What the family?
Yeah, I'll send
What
you
is
a
the family
text.
doing?
Huh? We're
Okay,
having
okay,
a movie and a game night. It's gonna
okay.
be yep. So I'll send you the information. Jay gonna be here. You know Jay, my son. Oh, Marquise. Jay said, "Hey, brother." He said, "What's up?" And he done came and just killed their vibe, right? And also Jay said he said he love us both. We love you too, Jay. Thank you so
Love
much
you
for
too,
being here
Jay.
this evening. Congratulations to Jay McGraw. I told
Yes,
Destiny this in the beginning, but congratulations to Jay McGraw. He is the owner of Power 4.4 radio station on his engagement. So yesterday he proposed to his
yes,
beautiful fiance, and I had to leave early because I had a session scheduled for 7:30. When I went back on Facebook, he had fireworks. He had somebody singing to her. Then when
yes.
I looked and they did this dance, I was like, "What in the world is the wedding going to be like?" So
Listen,
Jay,
a
I
man
am.
who has found a wife has found a good thing.
That's it. That's it, Jay. I am
Okay.
so proud of you. You are welcome. I'm so proud of you. And I kept looking. I said, that is my son. And when I tell y'all he was sharp, he had on this awesome suit. And oh man, yes, I missed the fireworks. And when I saw that, I was like, man, I missed a lot. But I thought about it. I said, when we talked about earlier about settling, to have someone to make these plans and go, you know what I'm saying? The fireworks, he had flowers and
Yes,
candles on the set. I mean, it was awesome, Jay. I am
yes.
very, very proud of you, and you are very creative. So Yes, congratulations,
Yes.
everyone that tunes in and that knows Jay. And even if you don't, just congratulate him and celebrate him. And we're looking forward to the date of that wedding. And I'm glad I was mom and I was invited. So I am so glad. I was so honored to be a part of that. Yeah, but we want to thank everybody again who has taken time to be here with us. Destiny, you were trying to, before Marquise came on, you were telling us a little bit about your future plans. You talked about your gap year. You talked about moving down south and everything. And then and your business. I think that's where we would get ready to go, and what type of business that you wanted to, you're interested in starting.
Yes, I want to be into real estate and I also want to be into technology. Now, long-term goals, I do want to pursue some being an author and also acting a little bit, but other than that, those are my majority plans. So what I always say, fitness, real estate, author, acting, if I can't do nothing else, and always just being a servant of God. Even though people always say they think I'm gonna be a pastor, but I'm gonna leave Jay to that because he always says that I'm gonna be a pastor. I don't know.
Girl, well, I can tell you this. I know that there's a sincere calling on your life, and you already know that. And I know that God has a great work for you to do because you're such a great inspiration. And that's what God needs. That's what we need in the earth today, because so many people are going through so many things. So many people are hurt. So many people are stuck. So many people are feeling bad and they feel like they can't go any further because of decisions they made or because of where they are. So many people are dealing with rejection and they need inner healing. And that's how I said, in the beginning, that's how this broadcast was birthed. Because after God delivered me from all of that, it's like, you know what? I'm going to help someone else, because there's too many people in the world that's looking for someone like you and I and others to be transparent and share their story and say, hey, you know what? I'm not perfect. I messed up in the past and I'm still not perfect, as you said earlier. And I say it all the time, even with my title. I say, you know, just because pastor's running my name doesn't mean I've lived a perfect life. It doesn't mean I'm perfect now. You know, we are striving for perfection, as Apostle Paul said. In each level that we grow, there's more to learn. There's more that you have to get rid of. There's another level of sanctification. You know, even if it goes as far as, well, I need to be more friendly, or I need to talk to people differently, or I need to reach out to people more. There's always room for growth and development. And that's what my academy is. It's an academy and it's coaching for spiritual, personal, and professional growth and development. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to take my experience. I'm going to take my education. I'm going to take my MBA. I can help people launch in the professional world. I've been an entrepreneur for a while. I said I can help people launch their own businesses. Then with the personal growth, all I've been through, and then all I've learned. So it covers a multitude of areas. My desire, even as a mentor, is just to help people grow. You know, it's important that, as Destiny says, she had to get a mentor. I have a mentor, a coach, and a coach and a counselor. And I think it's important, you know, years ago, we used to look down on people that got counseling and all. You know, when I was coming up many, many years ago, it was like, oh, you want to shrink? What's wrong with you? You crazy? Well, I think that
you need a therapist. You need a therapist.
Yes, because you got to unpack. You know, all of us have been through something. And if we don't unpack and release it and get it off of us, it turns into so many other things that negatively impacts our ability to walk in purpose and to reach our destiny. So all of that is so, so, so important. And I encourage you all to talk to someone. Don't hold things in. Don't beat yourself up. Okay, if you messed up, or if you feel like you're not in a place in life where you should be, acknowledge that. Yes, we have to recognize it and acknowledge it, but don't stay there. All of us have made decisions that we're not proud of. All of us have made decisions that have set us back, that cause delays in us moving forward in life. But guess what? Get up, keep moving. If you can't do it by yourself, get a coach, get an accountability partner, get someone that's not going to judge you, someone you can trust, someone that's going to help you grow, someone that can walk through the process of growth and development with you. And we all need that in life. All right. Look at your beautiful smile. You are so gorgeous.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, it's 7:40, and Destiny, do you have anyone you would like to give shout outs to?
Shout out to anybody that's watching. I'm shouting out everybody. I love and I give love and I receive love. So I'm just happy for anybody that's tuning in and wants to listen to Pastor's Current Show.
Oh, bless you. You are such a sweetheart. And again, for anyone that we would like to thank also the replay watchers. Thank you so much. Again, those of you that are on YouTube, thank you so much. And please, please, please share this broadcast. Destiny has talked about so much. She's opened up so many different conversations, and apparently God knows that someone needed to hear this. And so we want to be a blessing. So I always say, never assume that there's no one on your news feed or your timeline that does not need this information. And that's why we don't do scripts. But if you will share this broadcast, we'll be forever grateful. Destiny, I'd like to say thank you to you, sweetie. I love you. I appreciate you so much. You're welcome. I'm still looking forward to our little get-together lunch, and I'm going to send you the information because you really, really family now. We're going to have to get you here. Yes, Jay's supposed to be here for that as well. But I'll definitely send you that information, and I love and I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your evening with me and our guests, our audience, because it's your followers as well. All right. So next week, who do I have next week? Oh, next week I have a young lady. Actually, we grew up as cousins. You know how you're so close to people, and you have cousins that married into another family, and their cousins become your cousin. Well, this young lady is a very nice young lady. And then I told you about the young lady that the young lady that's a realtor, and I was trying to get y'all on the show together. She'll be on the 12th, and next week is her aunt that's going to be here. So we have very good segments, very good shows that I have scheduled for the month of August. So please come back. Don't forget to like There Is Still Hope for You Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is a new channel. It has probably about 5 or 6 broadcasts on there. There Is Still Hope for You broadcast. You can also follow me on Facebook at Karen Austin Gilbert on my personal page. So I appreciate you all. I love you all. Anything else, Destiny, before I close out?
That's all I got.
That's all I got. Look at you glowing, girl. You still glowing. So thank you to everyone again for taking the time to be here. And remember, no matter what you're going through, there is still hope for you. God bless you all, and thank you for tuning in. Love you. Thank you, Destiny. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.